order. You can please stand and join the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Lucy, could you please call roll?
Keith Harbison.
Here.
Carolyn Sprague.
Here.
Rich Barton.
Here.
Jeff Schneider.
Here.
Deanna Zwires.
Here.
Frankie Schwartz.
Here.
And Stephanie Tibbetts.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you, Lucy. Entertain a motion to amend or adopt the agenda.
I move to approve the agenda as presented.
I'll second. Thank you, Frankie. Thank you, Rich. Motion has been made and seconded to adopt the agenda as presented. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. The agenda is adopted. Real quick, call attention to the board for the board norms. We won't read through them, but just call your attention to them on your agenda. And now we will move on to the fun part of the night, all the recognitions.
Right, so we have with us from winter and spring, baseball still to be determined, but the ones we know, who have received all state honors in some fashion. So it's great to see so many kids here that have achieved this. This is really one of the top honors that you can receive, and just, we're so proud of you all for all the hard work and the time and everything that you've put in, the support from the parents, and just couldn't be more proud. So congratulations to all of you. So we're gonna do a little recognition. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna have you come up, get a picture. We'll stand up here, and parents, if you wanna come get pictures too, we'll do that, and then we'll go from there. So Rich is gonna call the names off, I think, as we go, and we'll go from there. Ms. Burton?
Our first group tonight will be the wrestling program. We have certificates for you, so come on up. Alexis Ruff, second place. Allison Bachik, sixth place. Manny McCauley, third place. Nathan Donovan, sixth place. And Zane T-Side, all state.
That's you, Allie. It's not a great picture.
I'll get a picture of it. Here, Jeff, wanna repose that? Sorry.
Sure.
I see that.
Yeah. There we go. 1, 2, 3. Congratulations.
Would you rather just be over here?
Yeah,
Or we just stand over here?
You're good, you're good, you're good.
Okay.
You're good. You're good.
Yeah,
Okay, great.
Amy, did you get me in there?
No.
Oh. Your mother's gonna be so disappointed. State Band Choir, exemplary rating. Gage Niehoff, bass clarinet solo. Joe Spencer, soprano solo and vocal solo. Rebecca Spencer, vocal solo. And may I ask, if it's not, were you the one that sang in that graduation here tonight? Because I don't think I've ever met you personally, but I made the comment after that, and I've heard it 1,000 times, and I've sang it myself, the best rendition I've ever heard.
Yeah,
It
it
was
was
absolutely
really good.
fantastic.
It was good.
I'd say that too, obviously.
Amazing. Make the hair stand up with the back of my head. Outstanding rating, Riley Heidgert, clarinet solo.
Congratulations.
Ryan Hart, tuba solo. Joe Biechner, trumpet solo.
I can get this to him tomorrow. He's in the wilderness.
For this.
Elijah Walkenbach, trumpet solo. Ethan Levin, alto sax solo.
Sure.
Y'all playing now.
Thomas Roman, alto sax solo.
Oh, you want to take a picture?
I could.
Okay, come on.
Try again.
Cameron Molitor, vocal solo. Ethan Boyle, vocal solo. Karen Daniel, baritone sax solo. And our alto sax trio, Thomas Roman, Caden Ugen, and Aiden Rushing. Do you have any saxophones with you? Do you have a saxophone with you? Got a nice touch.
Help me out here.
We're gonna like stand in a group together.
Put help in there.
Thank you.
Congratulations, guys.
Thank you.
Our clarinet quartet, Riley Hackard, Taryn Sharp, Amelia Allen. Kaylee Nehoff? Thank
Oh,
you very
yeah,
much.
because it's a quartet.
That's what I was thinking.
Hello.
Yeah, I was looking at it,
So
and
did
then
we
we missed
Is she
one.
here?
She's not here.
We'll still take it.
Congratulations.
I'm taking a picture.
Turn around, grab a picture.
And our satisfactory rating, Haley Allen, vocal solo. Come back up, get a big group right there
Yeah, if
together.
you guys want to come right up here, we'll get a group
Come
shot.
back up here.
Do your parents want to come?
And I know Miss Reason is in Maine, or she would probably be here tonight, because I know how proud of you guys she is.
Yes, please.
Fantastic.
I don't need
Act like you like each other.
Three.
Thank you, guys.
Good job, everybody.
We'll move on to track state competitors. Our first, Avery Shaw, discus and shot put. She qualified in both the discus and shot put.
She's also in the wilderness.
She's also
She's also in the wilderness.
Thank you. Marcus Green, shot put. I saved this man to last on
That's
purpose.
what I figured.
I shall keep her. In state track, you have to finish in the top 8 to be considered all-state, and I shall finish 7th, if I'm correct.
Good job.
And jump bar, 6-4. 6-4. And that's fantastic, and I'm super, super proud of you, that man. That was awesome. And volleyball, academic all-state. So this is the first year we started boys volleyball and had a very successful season. They grew and we had a great time watching them. Matthew Fabian. Matthew Wagner. Austin Gentry. So I'm going to reminisce just here for a second. I know this shocks everybody out here on the board. That's the story. When I first started teaching in Warrenton in 1989, I was a freshman basketball coach, JV basketball coach, the varsity basketball coach. Then I started coaching track. Then I coached baseball for a while, and then I ended up coaching golf. But my first year here, I had a young man that came up to me at my freshman basketball practice. Coach, I need to leave practice early. And I said, what for, Dave? And he said, I've got piano lessons. I said, piano lessons? What are you talking about? He said, yeah, I've got piano lessons, and my teacher does not like me to be late. He said, is that okay? And I said, David, that is absolutely the coolest thing I've ever heard in my entire life. I said, yes, you may go to piano lesson. And why I say that is because I also had several of my basketball players that were leads in the plays and the musicals, and I always thought, this is the place. I spent my next 26 years here because this was the place for me that I wanted to raise my kids in, that the coaches and sponsors all work together for the betterment of all kids, not just the athletes or not just the fine arts, that we work together, and it still does that today. And I'm super proud of you and the coaches and the whole staff. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Rich. That was very well said. Congratulations to all of you on outstanding accomplishments.
And your favorite line?
Sure. I always hate when people are like, when do I leave? What do I do? So you're welcome to stay for the remainder of the meeting if you'd like, but if you'd like to go home, feel free to do that as well. So congratulations again, and thank you all for coming.
Thanks.
We're really proud of you. Really proud of you.
Okay, yeah, that's.
Okay, Rebecca.
Lucy, do we have any
Straighten
meeting?
up back there.
We do not.
I think so. Okay, no patron comments, so we will move on to the superintendent reports, and we will start with the Daniel Boone updates.
Yep, so we have Matt McDermott here from Warrenton. Lucy, if you could pull that up. So give us an update on what's going on at our new building.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for the opportunity to give you an update. Okay, new Daniel Boone Elementary School. I'm gonna mess this up, I'm sure. Goes to the right. Here we go. Okay, so just, I'll use this slide every time, just like I did last time, just more of an orientation. Ash Road is to the top, Highway 47 is to the left. In the tan area there is the footprint of the elementary school. To the left of that is the parking lot in the white gray area, we'll call it. And then obviously all the green is the green area. So just keep that as an orientation for everyone. So we are at the entrance to the construction site on Ash Road. We're looking out to the west, and that is the lower detention pond, which with the rains last Wednesday did a phenomenal job. It filled up, yes. It was right at the brim, but it did hold its capacity, so that was good news. So we're going to start there, and we're going to swing around up. So now we just basically swung around, looking straight north, and you can see the construction entrance road, which will be your bus drive. Job trailers are there, and in the distance on the left, you can see the steel frame for the classroom wings, and then up to the right, you'll see the storm shelter footings, and we'll fly over there with the drone in just a second, but I kind of wanted to just start off of Ash Road. Okay, now we're going to jump to the east, east by 47. So there's 47 running across the top of the page. The upper right is the other detention basin, and you can see sort of some pillars coming out of the ground there. Those are site light pole bases that they've started to put in. You can kind of see the outline of where the islands are going to go for the car parking lot. And it got a little washed out a little bit last Wednesday with that 2 inches of rain in about 2 hours, I think it was. It was a monsoon of rain. So now we're going to swing back around to the south, and you can see that same detention pond, and you'll start picking up the retaining wall to your neighbor's property right there. And then a little farther, as we swing to the right, more of the retaining wall along there in the grassed area, and more of the parking lot up front with the grading work that they are working Swinging back, now looking at the entrance of the building, the big square right there, that is the foundations for the storm shelter in your main gym. You can literally drive a car on those foundations. They are quite large, but when it's resisting 250-mile-an-hour winds, that's what's needed to keep that storm shelter in place. So that's what you're looking at there. To the left of that, kind of looks like a ladder, some steps, hopscotch kind of thing going there on the left. That is the entrance colonnade to the school. Those are the grade beam excavations for the concrete footings for that. And then back up in the upper right, you can see the 2 classroom wings now framed out in steel. And we'll get a little closer view of those in just a second. So all the way to the north, there's your future playground area and grass soccer field play area. That will all be grass. Right now it's staging area for all the topsoil and rock area that they have a place to stage, and they'll clean that up as they get towards the end of the project. Okay, we've flown in closer. Now we're sitting over your gym, storm shelter. You can see those footings at the bottom of the page. Up on top, 2 classroom wings. You can see where the classrooms are. You can see the center corridors come into shape with steel, and then the cross corridor across the top. So they are moving quite well with some of the weather that they've had. We're very pleased with the progress. All right, so remember the bid date was in September, so kind of jumping through all those dates. Substantial completion, we're still on for November of 2026. Final completion on December of 2026. They are ahead of schedule, floating around the September date, but I just want to keep that up there, so contractually those are the dates for their contract. And then just kind of some updates of what's going to be happening here. They're going to continue with the foundations on the classroom, from the classroom wing, moving up towards the cafeteria, the kitchen, food service area. They will, as that gets put in, then you'll see more steel coming out of the ground. And the retaining wall work is basically complete. They got to do a little more cap work on that. So now they can put the water line in across that section, get that finished on the site utilities. And hopefully here July 1st or so, if you have time and want to watch, they'll start delivering the precast panels for the storm shelter. It is quite impressive to see the size of these trucks that are 90, 95 foot long, how they handle them, how they get them into the site, how they put the crane up there, lift these panels up, and they start on the end wall, set the panels, come down the sides. They'll go like 2 panels, then they'll swing in what's called a concrete double T, set that on top, put a couple more wall panels, next double T, and work their way down and create that box. And it will go up in a matter of 6 or 7 days. You will see a gymnasium structure up that efficiently. It's really something. So maybe you can borrow the dentist office or the neighbor from the bank, maybe, or if somebody wants to watch that.
You said it's starting July 1st.
Around July 1st, and I can confirm that with Greg, so he can do that. But that's the target date for them to start delivering. It's just impressive. So moving on from that, we have obviously resolved the building and fire permit. That's approved. We're working regularly, and Greg is helping out tremendously on this. Ameren UE and some pole relocations on 47. Ameren Gas Service is working on easements, getting gas to your property. They said they've got about half the easements. They're hoping to start maybe some of that work this fall, so we'll keep you updated on that. And then MoDOT, the district has hired CBB to do the drawings for MoDOT to expedite that and get that moving. They said it would take about a year, where we've requested if they can cut that down to maybe 9 or 10 months to pick up some time to help you out on your schedule. So we'll keep updating you on that and stay on that. So that's kind of what's happening, big picture on that. And as the bottom comment says, September, October is about what they're shooting for on their construction schedule for completion. But Mother Nature's had an interesting winter and now even more interesting spring. So knock on wood, pending the weather, that's what their target is. So are there any clarifications or questions to any of that? Walk through it kind of efficiently. I can back up to a slide if you'd like to see something, but we're very pleased with the progress and the contractor on site.
How is Ash Road holding up?
It is holding up very well. You know, they put a steel plate now, you may have seen that if you drive by there, but they put a contractor put a steel plate right at the entrance to assist with some of the crumbling there because the trucks are turning and causing that. They put that on there and everything's been good. And they clean it daily to keep everybody happy in the area, and it's going along well.
Right, the big thing I was worried about on Ash Road was the big rain, because in the past, it had washed out onto the road. And so this, to me, looked like it was an improvement to
Yes.
what was there before. But, you know, we still are gonna have probably some road, a lot of concrete trucks, a lot of weight coming through there.
Yeah.
We'll continue to monitor that, but that steel plate has really made a big difference in the road.
It has been a great help. Yeah, the challenge will be the precast panels when those trucks come, because you're talking about 90,000 pounds. I mean, it's a lot of weight coming on those vehicles, so. So far, so
And this
good.
is, you said it's a tilt up for the gym?
It's similar to a tilt-up, but they're precast, they're made in a factory, and then they ship them on the road on trucks and deliver them. A tilt-up is where they actually pour the panels on site,
Oh, gotcha.
and they actually tilt them up on site and do that. You need a lot more layout space, I'll call it, flat layout space to do those concrete panels, so, yeah. Good question.
Any other questions?
You know, I think Greg shared with the principal some of the colors, start working on some of the colors and the color schemes on the interior. So, get that moving and get some purples in there.
I'll be right back.
Oh, the door.
If you're gonna stretch their presentation here.
That's fine. He's going to get the wood door samples. We need to get the doors ordered because they're, 22-week. Everything is just extended. I think everybody knows that when you order something, nothing's in stock anymore. So he's going to go get the wood door samples. And then we'll start bringing more flooring, painting, wall tile colors, and start getting that moving. Get the
Last
colors
week
there.
when we had our meeting was right after that huge rain, and the site manager had been in the mud, like seriously.
He was.
Part of the problem is because we don't have a curb along 47 yet, or on the parking
On
lot
the parking
either.
lot.
Parking lot, I guess is what.
Perfect.
The water washed out onto 47 and down the hill, and it was in the mud, and it was messy. He looked like he'd been out playing in the mud when he came
was-
in for the
he was
meeting.
having a good day.
He was up to his hips in mud.
Like they marked it. Okay. Wood door color.
Okay.
A little darker than we have. Perfect, thank you, Greg.
All right.
All right, any other clarifications, concerns, questions? Happy to answer them.
All right. Thank you, Matt.
Very welcome, thank you for the time.
Thanks
Have a
for
great
coming,
night.
Matt.
Yeah. Need that back.
All right, next on the agenda is the school climate program evaluation.
Okay, school climate, it's not gonna be a So annually, we kind of report on school climate. We've been conducting the survey for a number of years now. We just kind of compare to the last year's data to see if we're improving or not. Liz could just scroll down. So the first group is the teachers group. And, mostly green, some areas to monitor and look at. But the biggest number on our teachers is, this has probably been our best year of losing teachers to other districts. We're about 1/3 of what we've been in the past. So really, really happy with teacher retention and people coming back. That, to me, is the biggest indicator. These are also good to know. But our modes and medians are looking pretty good. The one that is our next one, which is our support staff, there's definitely some work here to do. We're not looking as good there. And so we kind of dug into this a little bit deeper, and a lot of this is in-building support staff, so not necessarily like a maintenance or transportation or something like that, but it's more of a in the building. So this will be part of the CSIP or board goals that we put together last time is that we would review this data quarterly, and we give this data out each quarter during the school year. So we'll be monitoring this for trends through the year. When I meet with each building principal, we'll be bringing this up and talking about these items and why are we seeing decline, particularly with our support staff. Like this is a little bit concerning and something we'll be definitely working on developing a plan throughout the summer and into the school year to help that work group. Then our last one was administrators, and it's looking pretty positive, so we're happy to see the administrator look pretty positive. So that's just real quickly to report on that.
Okay. Any questions, comments, thoughts on the school climate surveys? All right. Thank you for the update. I believe next is the finance update.
Yep, just our normal monthly report. Okay, so operating revenues, we're at 96% for the year to date, and compared to last year's 94%. So we've been trending ahead all year long. We anticipate to be the case. Operating revenues is 84% compared to 82%. Last year we were a little bit behind on there and never did get to the full 100% on our revenues. So I think we're just a little bit closer on budgeting this year than we were last year. Fund balances right now are a little bit below where we were last year, and we'll talk a little bit about that in our chart where we expect that to be. So the oranges this year, as we've been moving through the year, last year and the year before both ended up pretty close, about the same. I expect us to be slightly below that, probably around 37% into the year is where I kind of expect. Healthy, all good, just a little bit down from last year. We actually have more money in the bank, but since we have more expenses, it's lower our fund balance. So revenues, local money's up, taxes are up, county's down a little bit, state is up because we have the double payments, and ECSE, federal is up. We also have additional special education payments, so that's all looking up. So up this year, we're ahead quite a bit in revenue than where we were last year, which is always a good thing. But we did give raises, so that revenue comes out. So we are up in salaries and benefits. And so we expected raises, so we did put it into salaries to try to retain and recruit people, so that's helped. And no, I did have some more expenses in purchase services, which is mainly special education, and supplies are up slightly. So we keep on going. Capital projects, so we're at 1.7 million there for projects. And the bond issue, we have 27 million now. That's cash on hand for the project. So contingency, we've only had the one change order so far, so within the project itself that's been bid out, we're still at 485,000 before we technically be over budget on any change orders we have. So that's what we've got going on finance-wise.
Any questions from the board on the finances? Seems like things are in order. All right, moving on to the consent agenda. We'll entertain a motion. Consent agenda.
I make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Keith?
Awesome.
All right, motion has been made and seconded to approve the consent agenda as presented. Is there any discussion or questions? All right, we will go ahead and vote on the motion on the floor to approve the consent agenda as presented. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. All right, who's not on here? I didn't vote. Old business, policy approvals.
Yeah, so we have several policies from MSBA. We recommend to approve as presented.
All right, any questions or comments on policies?
I'm looking at TJF-AP. And that has a segment. It is page 7. And on that page
there any specific law that pertains to the?
So
Have that in there for us.
Missouri passed that, that's something that Missouri will do, like our whole state, and that's what, if you go to that MSBA explanation up very top, that update explanation, it states that. We have a sleeper statute, presumably validated by the Court of Appeals by a decision in Arkansas.
Other thoughts? Questions? Okay, so I guess from a from an approval standpoint, I guess we would need to make a motion on what we wanted to vote on.
I had a similar question to you, actually. Is there like something that would allow us to be on the hook for something in the future if we just omitted that? We'd be sued for something for not having it. It just seems like such an arbitrary thing. I don't know why it's in there. It makes no sense. But if we don't put it in there, is that something we can be held to for some unforeseen thing later?
I mean, possibly. I mean, when we look at the statement that looks like the U.S. Office of Management and Budget updated federal program rules on Title II of the Code of Federal Regulations with the effective date of October 1 of 2024. Is to improve federal financial system management, transparency and oversight through more readily accessible and comprehensive guidance. So then the Department of Education has had an interpretation of that as it continues on. And I think this is more of a just, because this was upheld and this is the Arkansas case, that in that looks like federal court, U.S. Federal Court of Appeals, that this is something to have. And I believe, you know, and it's something standard that most businesses send us that we will sign off on it. It's really kind of just become a normal piece of business. But at the same time, I don't see this changing our day-to-day process on this. So since MSBA put it in, I'd probably just recommend doing what because they've studied this a lot more than I have.
How many contracts do we sign that are more than $100,000?
Not too many, but there'll be construction projects, you know, like for the new building.
So can somebody explain to me in layman's terms, what does this mean, though, that a company that if we have a business that we're getting a contract with them for $100,000, they can't what?
They have to provide us a certificate that they do not boycott goods or services from Israel.
That's normally just we don't boycott from Israel, check.
Right.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, it's a shame that they put that in there from their standpoint too, but it's probably not something that's gonna affect us one way or the other here anyway, from that point. But we've always trusted MSBA, but I mean, that's,
I don't like codifying things on such a small level when it's not affecting our constituents, it's not affecting our students, it's not making us a better district.
yeah.
And just because they codified it on the federal level, on the state level, like, it should be covered.
Yeah, I agree with everything you're saying, Bruno, for sure. But I know my legal knowledge is very small compared to this.
What, could we approve everything else except for that one, table that one, and then have you run it by them and say,
Yeah,
as
absolutely.
a district, that we don't think that that's appropriate for our district?
Yeah, this isn't something that has to be approved tonight, and then
Yeah.
we can do this next month. or the work session even.
And then maybe they.
It was
can
just
manage
July.
to What would be the consequences of this, which I don't think would be.
Right. Right, if we left out that part.
The
what-
federal thing is scary to me, that's why.
Oh, yeah.
I know typically a lot of these things are adhering to some laws that, yeah, none of us have control over, obviously, so.
Mhm.
That would be my only concern of omitting it, is if there is some type of law.
We don't want
Similar to what
the-
Keith said.
We don't want the federal government holding funds from us.
Right.
Our board got, some affidavits from the state's attorney general a few years ago. Don't know if that happened.
That being said, I'll make a motion to approve the policies minus BJF-81.
I'll second.
Thank you, Jeremy. Thank you, Keith. Motion has been made and seconded to approve the policies as presented except for the DJF AP1. Any further discussion or other questions on any of the other policies? All right. We'll go ahead and move to vote. All those in favor of the approval of those policies, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion passes. All right, moving on to new business. New elementary boundaries.
Yep. And so as Lucy's getting the notes here,
Sorry.
we'll just take just a second here.
Sorry.
Okay, we have a subdivision. A new subdivision that in our current boundaries, there's a line that goes right through the field. So they just basically drew a line through the field. It was a field, so no big deal.
There weren't any houses
Exactly.
there.
The cows on one side go to one school, the cows on the other go to the other. Well, now we're not having cows there anymore, we're having people. So this is our current boundary line, and so we need to determine which side of the line does that subdivision go to school. Rebecca Boone is filling up, and Dana Boone has less students, and so we're recommending that this be our new boundary for the new subdivision. That new subdivision goes to Dana Boone.
We did some other things like this not too long ago. Keith and Stephanie weren't on the board yet, but it just makes sense when you have new houses going in. It makes sense to me anyway. If you kind of have a choice, put them in the attendance area with the most space in the school building.
So the green will still go to Rebecca Boone?
Yep,
Yeah.
Rebecca, this won't impact any current housing.
Right.
Right.
So if you're, like, for example, on Red Bud, if you're going to Rebecca Boone,
Yeah.
you would still go to Rebecca Boone.
Just future homes that are being built in that
Right.
area. It's just kind of a way to avoid an overcrowding problem. And it'd be silly to have a line through the middle of the subdivision too. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I would agree. As long as it's not affecting the current students.
Right.
Changing schools. Seems to make sense. All right, I would entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Go ahead. Go ahead and start.
I make a motion to approve the boundary adjustment as presented.
I'll second. Here we go.
Yeah. Motion's been made and seconded to approve the boundary adjustment as presented. Any further discussion? All right, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. All right. Next item of new business is the curriculum.
Yep, so our curriculum teams worked this year on developing or updating and developing curriculum in their cycles. So we've got K-5 ELA, well, really K through 12 ELA. We've got business, industrial tech, and Project Lead the Way all came together this school year to update curriculum, and it's here for your approval.
Anybody want to make a motion? Questions, discussion?
I move to approve the curriculum as presented.
Frankie?
I'll second that.
Thank you, Rich. Motion has been made and seconded to approve the completed revised curriculum as presented. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Moving on down the line, next item is cost share of a police car with the city of Truesdale.
Yes, I was reached out by the city of Truesdale if they wanted to cost share a police vehicle with them that would be used for the SRO at Rebecca Boone. And the cost of the vehicle is going to be $74,282.42, pretty exact. And the cost to the district would be exactly half of that. We would not be required to maintain the car in any way. This would be a one-time payment to them. Truesdale's going to be working on some grants that might lower the cost, but we wanted to get approval to move forward with this, if the board agrees. This would be guaranteeing our SRO to have a vehicle to use while when on duty. So just here for your
Are you
discussion.
walking right now, Steph?
Huh?
Are you walking right now?
No, what it is we're a full-time, three-man full-time department. We have two and a half cars.
Oh.
But then we also have 3 part-time people, so if anybody else comes into work, then they take the SRO car.
I see.
So, and there's, yeah, you can put me on a bicycle.
Okay.
You try to see me ride a bicycle.
It did actually bring up a question in my mind. Is Rebecca Boone the only one in the, or only building in the city limits of Truesdale?
Yes.
Correct.
Okay. I thought so, but I guess I never.
But we
asked the
do
question.
respond to the other schools for all their intruders rules, any incidents, including like Holy Rosary and every school in the district, so.
And just like they would respond to you as well.
Right.
Because I've seen that happen from each other.
Yeah, back each other up.
I'll make a motion to approve the cost share police car with the city of Truesdale as submitted.
Rich? Is Stephanie second?
I think Stephanie
I think I heard.
seconded
I think I heard
first.
second.
Stephanie seconded
Kind of.
first. Wow. You guys have to be a little louder.
Yeah.
Carolyn and Stephanie need to.
Motion is made and
More
seconded to approve the cost share agreement with City of Truesdale up to $37,141.21. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes.
Thanks for all you do there, officer. I appreciate it. All your officers are awesome. Thank you.
All right, final item of new business is the Gateway Media contract.
Yes, so this is to fill our executive producer of broadcasting, student activities that we approved as a position to have. So as we were researching who could do it the best, is somebody that is a retired person that needs to have this as a business essentially, and hopes to expand this to other schools potentially down the road, and have more students involved. But this would be dedicated to us, obviously, this just for us at this point. And so this would be Mr. Keith Brown's business. He did all our broadcasting this year. So it'd be essentially the same cost as we would have. We put him on a teacher salary schedule. Actually, saves us a little money compared to the benefit cost.
So we currently have this one in place now.
We have a position approved in the staffing plan for it.
Right.
And so instead of having somebody that's our own staff member, we'd hire them as a contract service.
And the plan is that this person is gonna sell ads as well to sponsors for the broadcasts that we do. So that will recoup some of what we're paying them. They're gonna get a commission on their sales, but we would get some of that, at least some of it back.
Yeah, we
We'll
hope
see
to
how
cover
it
the cost
goes.
and then make a profit.
Right.
There's lots of excitement about advertising stuff, because I spread the word. We had a lot of feedback on that as well.
Well, anybody that you want me to talk to, Rich, I'll be happy to give them a call.
Send it away.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's one of the main reasons we approved the position in the first place,
Right.
was it was taking up a vast amount of time for Dr. K and
Right.
all of his other responsibilities, so. That's
Yeah, I'll still be involved, I'm sure,
Positive,
at least to get it kicked off, make sure everything's going smoothly. This year we've learned a lot, but next year we'll hopefully take it to the next level.
And even like graduation, how many views do we have? Like,
I didn't see the number on that.
How about like, yeah,
I know we had
Andy's
5,000
got it.
for our dig.
Yeah.
Of the non-existent
Right, watch us
time
dig a hole. So
capsule.
appreciate everybody tuning in. Sorry we couldn't find the time capsule. Maybe we'll dig some more holes later, but
Oh, my
not anytime
goodness.
soon. So,
I just blamed it on the class of 75 that were there. They didn't want us to find their grade cards.
Oh.
It was a senior pregnant.
yeah, best senior prank.
That could be.
Like 12.6 thousand.
12,000
Yeah.
Wow.
So people tune in, definitely tune in.
And I knew it was 4,000, that night was 4,000 right away, so that's
Even
awesome.
with a 2-hour delay.
People who didn't want
and
to
we
sit
got a
out
lot
in
of-
the rain.
And the ones that I talked to though, got a lot of compliments that it was very clear, they could hear, and the whole thing, so they were very.
Yeah, it worked out
It's
close.
awesome. That's awesome.
All right.
I got a question. Is the contract for home games only?
No, up to 100 games, so 100 events, a minimum. So we'll do more, but we're getting a minimum number on there, and we'll do away games. Our goal is to do every Friday night football game for sure, just because it's the same time, people know when to tune in. We're getting 8,000-9,000 views on our football, and so our advertisers are wanting the most exposure. And then we'll pick up 90 other events throughout the year at minimum. And that shouldn't be a problem to hit those, but our goal is to have 2 or 3 nights a week, something going on. Right.
Very good. Anybody want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the contract as presented.
Deanna, I'll second that. Thank you, Rich. Motion has been made and seconded to approve the Gateway Media contract as presented. All those in favor, please say aye.
Hi.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. We do not have any policy first reads. So we'll move on to our miscellaneous, and first is celebrations. And I was thinking there for a second, Rich was going to steal my thunder on a celebration around graduation. But I think it's just a good opportunity to thank the entire crew that maneuvered through the weather and brought graduation to a completed success. I thought it went really well. Obviously, the weather didn't cooperate, but a lot of agility shown by everybody to get it. And also want to celebrate that this stage was pretty slick and nobody slipped and fell, so that was good.
That was because Dr. Ross was warning everyone. He had that under control. I want to celebrate the FFA banquet. Jeff, you and I were at the FFA banquet, but I just think the FFA is a great group of kids, and they had a lot of recognitions and new officers sworn in and everything. And they invite everybody to come and share in a banquet each year for that, and I always enjoy going to that, so I'm glad I was able to be there again this year. Yes.
Other celebrations anybody wants to mention? Great group of kids here tonight to celebrate earlier. Always good. All right, workshop topics for June 26th. Looks like we have a few things that we're going to discuss there.
Yes, so we've got the budget and the, we have to do the budget. And so we'll have, now we won't have all that stuff finalized until the last, that week. We'll have to close out some bills and things, but the budget is up now. You can see that. We put together our communication audit, which is one of our board goals. And that will be kind of our first kickoff, see where we're going to go from there, sort of discussion around that. And then we'll probably have some personnel, at least I hope so. I hope we're hiring a couple people. So those are kind of things I'm recommending that we have to do.
Okay, is there any other topics anybody can think of that we want to discuss at the workshop?
Gonna discuss the photography contract
If-
then,
whatever
or are we
you want
gonna
to.
wait until the July, you wanna wait till the July meeting? Okay.
We'll just
Just put
schedule a
that
meeting.
on- Yeah, put that on the agenda for the July meeting.
Done.
We gotta start at 5.
Work session does start at 5.
If
That
everybody can make it.
works for everyone. Okay. So that would be the plan, June 26th at 5 o'clock for the work session. All right, we can set the next regular meeting. Somebody wants to make a motion for that?
I make a motion to set the next regular Board of Education meeting on July 10th, 2025.
Thank you, Deanna.
I'll second.
Thank you, Carolyn. Motion's been made and seconded to set the next regular Board of Education meeting on July 10th, 2025. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Closed session.
I'll make a motion to set the closed Board of Education meeting to immediately precede the regular meeting on July 10th, 2025.
Carolyn?
I'll second.
Thank you, Keith. Motion made and seconded to set the next closed Board of Education meeting immediately precede regular meeting on July 10th. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. One thing left.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
You always do.
I'll second.
Thank you, motion made and seconded to adjourn. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed. We are adjourned.